I love you too. This is gonna be Munk Rivers here.
My name is Izzy Marx and I play the drums.
Hi, I'm Max, and I play bass for Munk Rivers.
My name is Charlotte and I'm the lead singer and the songwriter for Munk Rivers.
My name is Tucker and I play guitar in the band, and then I also kind of like book and do those things for Munk Rivers.
3.5 years ago, I started playing bass, and I've been playing that since then. My dad brought home a bass one day, and I was like, I'll learn how to play it. Because I think I also just wanted to learn how to play like a band instrument. He brought home the bass, and then I picked it up and started playing it. And we would play together because he does drums. So we would just kind of play together sometimes. We still do, of course.
I was part of a program called School of Rock, and you could take private lessons, and there were like these performance programs that you could be a part of. And there was also like an audition only team, which I auditioned for and I got on. I was the first girl drummer to be on the team. And I had a lot of really cool opportunities come up from that experience. I don't know, I was doing a bunch of covers and stuff in high school, but I started writing music when I was in like 11th grade, I'd say. Yeah.
I mean, because my freshman year, I didn't meet anybody that was like, that I could have jammed with. And then like I finally did this semester. But it took that time to just like happen to run into those people. So, I mean, obviously we all found each other. And I think kind of in a normal way, just like Tucker and Charlotte coming to our house show, that's a pretty normal band origin story. But there's just less of those people. I think that's the difference.
For a while, I really wanted to move to LA with some fellow musicians after I graduated from college, just because you know, that's where the people are if you really want to make it, you know, LA, New York, some city like that. But I found here, I feel like something really special that I might not have been able to find in somewhere that, because LA, it's kind of like superficial, you know, and it's really like cutthroat. But here in Des Moines, I just found people who I was really able to connect with in a really like genuine and kind of like wholesome sort of way, you know? And I think that we all really started playing together because we just vibed, you know? Like, so yeah, it just, there were like wholesome intentions. It's not as like cutthroat as like somewhere like LA, which is great because I'm from Chicago. I like the Midwest, you know?
Des Moines, I have found, is such a kind space to new musicians, which is great because sometimes you hear like the horror stories of the Los Angeleses and the New Yorks maybe not being so kind, but Des Moines has been so great. I kind of feel like if you just show up to whatever it is, if you show up to local shows or like the Des Moines Music Coalition every once in a while puts on like some artists meetup things. If you just show up, people are real nice to you for the most part. And that's kind of been, I don't know, our story so far.
I kind of remember Big Grove being like a pretty beautiful experience. I was really proud to be up there with you guys. It was our first show.
The fact that it was for all of my coworkers was really terrifying, but we played a good show. I was proud of us too. Like we played our asses off. So
I had no idea like how it was going to go, but we played a little 3-song set and it was pretty tight. And it was a lot of fun. And it was like the first time that we ever played to an audience as a group. So it was cool to get feedback from people and just sort of like, play with our own gear out in the wild for the first time.
When I think about our Rhythm and Pep show at XPK, it was our second show. And it was just a dream to go up there as a band on the XPK stage. Because like Charlotte and I had seen so many great acts there. And that was like a milestone that I will remember forever. And the Rhythm and Pep event in my opinion, is like just absolutely one of the coolest things that Des Moines has going on for it. So if you're in Des Moines and you want something to do, check out when the next Rhythm and Pep is. There's so many cool, like, diverse, dope acts. It was awesome.
That was like my first paid gig that I was a part of, and it was the first time I like played on a bill with anyone else. We only played 3 songs, but like it was still just really cool to be on that stage and like feel like we were getting somewhere. At least soon we would.
I was lucky enough to have a lot of really cool opportunities to play music when I was in high school. So I used to play a lot of like really cool venues, like professional sound and lighting and all this stuff. And it had been years since I've done that. So I was really, really nervous, but I thought we killed it. It was so fun. Everyone was so nice.
I felt like a part of the community and like that little zeitgeist for the first time, which like felt so special. It was like our first like professional like sound check, which was fun to get through, and we did. And I felt so proud to like, because Tucker and I played there before, just the two of us, and then so to bring it back, like some of those same songs with the band, like totally exploded what I thought we could do in my head on that stage.
Genius. It's genius on Spotify.
The house show is so special. Probably like one of the best nights of my life. Can I say that? Yeah, I think I can say that. It was just like the best supportive energy from everyone that came, and like the space that I don't know, the energy that house exudes after like lots of musicians have been doing awesome things in there. And like, I don't know, it was really incredible. Like lots of energy. Like I felt our music in like a physical space for the first time, I think, or like how it could be interpreted that way, people dancing to it for the first time. I heard people singing our like lyrics for the first time, which was like so beautiful.
Charlotte and I had never played house show before, and like the magic of a house show, it's very different than like a regular gig. And I can't quite put my finger on it other than the fact that it's just like other young people partying. It's more of a party like atmosphere, which is cool, and that's why we got, I think, like the dancing and the singing along, and that was super cool.
It means a lot to me because I really, it's my college house. I'm in college right now, and so because of that, it's such like a meaningful space for me. You know, I feel like I've grown and learned so much while I've been there, and to be able to include this amazing part of my life, the music side, you know, the place that I already love so much, and getting to do the thing that I love more than anything else, like in the place that I love more than anything else, is just, oh, it's beautiful.
The house show was like terribly awesome. I love doing the house shows because like they said, I had already done 2. It's the one thing I have over them in terms of music. Other than that, I'm just the bassist, but and that's always up there, you know. But it was a hell of a night. It was so much fun, like Charlotte said, with seeing people singing along to Genie. I was just like, oh my god, because it had been out for like 2 weeks at that point, I think. So people already had like memorized everything, and it was just like, oh my god, like people really care about this.
So Tucker was just doing some research one day, and he came across the Blind Spot, which is that cool DIY spot in Omaha, Nebraska. He reached out to them because the venue looked cool, and they responded, and we're like, yeah, you want to play this bill? I think we were all feeling really good and really excited to play more often, so we started recording some stuff, but I think we really put the recording on the back burner just so we could prep for Omaha. We're waiting for Charlotte to get here, and we're going to rehearse, and we're getting ready for our show in Omaha. Here's the set list. It was so much fun. We got to meet some really, really cool musicians. who I'm a fan of. We played with this one band, Diaphane, and they were so much fun. They were some cowboys from South Dakota, and I still listen to their music now. They were really good. But it was a whole lot of fun. It was a good opportunity to practice performing in front of just a bunch of supportive, cool people.
This is the day before our Abortion Access Fund show at XBK. Kind of our first go around with some of the local heavy hitters.
Tomorrow's the XBK show.
Tomorrow is our show at XBK.
It is our show at XBK.
We're slated to play like 45 minutes of music, which is also a milestone for us because we haven't played that long. And we've worked really hard. I think we all feel good. We're gonna get one more practice in before tomorrow, and we're ready to rock out.
I feel very ready. This is kind of silly, but I had a tarot reading this last week, and I asked the tarot person how it was going to go, and I got great cards about it. And they said that it was going to be very lucky and to just believe in, like, all the work we've put into it. And so, like, I know that's probably not, like, certain, but it makes me feel better about it, and I have a good feeling.
I'm feeling very excited. I think that we're going to have a pretty good crowd. Some people who've seen us play before, and hopefully a lot of new faces, and I'm just ready to get out there and play and have some fun.
We want to continue growing in our opportunities, and I know a lot of people that are going to be there, and I know that everyone else has a lot of people that are going to be there, so I think we all want to put on a good show for them. And also in the name of, funding abortion access, that would be kind of disrespectful if we didn't do a good job.
There's some other big fish in this small pond that we want to play well for. And I think it's also just like a culmination of kind of our first few months as a band and a good marker of kind of where we're at right now.
For this kit, the snare keeps like falling out. This keeps coming out of this, so the snare falls while I'm playing. And so we're using this to try to attach it to this structure, and we'll see if it works. So
Why are you using that?
Because we don't have tape. Sorry, I'm gonna use like all of your lint roller material, Tucker.
DIY or die, baby!
Have you guys ever seen the Wolf Sounds?
Between the walls of a morning walk, telling myself to do within the dark. Pull down my quicksand as a sperm bags getting the burn of the sun on the turn.
Thank you so much for having us.
One word that I would use to describe the journey from Big Grove to XBK would just be validating.
I'm so happy and having a lot of fun right now, doing the thing that I love more than anything else.
I'd honestly say it's like everything I thought it would be. like it's been extremely fulfilling and fun, and like saying that it's like everything I thought it would be isn't to like diminish it, because like I expected it to be like just extremely fulfilling and fun, and just like a joy to work with other people on music.
I think like you know what you do best, and like even if I didn't know, like we wrote a lot of songs from that time to this time also, and so like our sound has changed a lot, but I think it's in a way that like totally, I don't know, coincides with like all of our musical souls and like I don't know, it's unexpected like how that's changed, but I think that when we started the project we knew what we're capable of, I guess, and now all these experiences have been able to show us that other people believe in that power too, and like you just gotta trust yourself.
Was our best show. It was such a great night. Like obviously we didn't do everything perfectly. We still killed it.
Well, our stage presence was totally like on another level, you know, more than like any other show, in my opinion. And that's always a lot of fun.
I deleted all of my like guitar stuff a few hours before. I like updated my big profiler, which makes all the noises, and it just wiped out all of my stuff. So like that leading up to that show, I had been kind of a nervous wreck because all of my gear had been completely reset. But it worked out. Like Max, you said something on the day of the show that helped me a lot. You were like, we're gonna sound how we're gonna sound. Like it's just that's just what it is. And that really classic Max. Yeah. It was very nonchalant. Yeah, he just said we're gonna sound how we're gonna sound, and that totally calmed me down, actually.
That night was bejeweled, sparkled, dazzled. Can I say that? It really did. Like in my memory, I'll always remember those like purple and blue lights and like how those songs sounded. Like they hit me in a way that like I never had since I started writing them, or like in a way that I never saw them before. And yeah, I think it was just like the least critical I've ever been of anything I've done, which is hard for me. Like I've been doing lots of stuff in the arts like all my life, and I just never felt like I was able to like, I don't know, fully get to that point of like accepting that it sounded like me and that was good and like meant something to people. But I had that feeling when I was on stage, and it makes me emotional to like think about that.
The booker of XBK emailed us after the show, pretty eager to set up like a next thing, and he's the best guy. He's also saw us at our first show and kind of has set up some opportunities. He was the one that got our foot in the door for this abortion access show, So we are already slated to go back and open for a band called Social Cinema based out of Wichita, Kansas, and they rock. And then we also met some other people and like producers and things. I know Izzy met somebody from the band Dickie that has like a recording studio in town. So it garnered a lot of good attention.
Oh, I guess first I'm gonna play the song that I wrote like a bunch of years ago because I haven't played it in a while. When your cat gets mad, you come to my house looking for something else to put your hands on.
I love this little community. You know, I come from a suburb right outside of Chicago where there was a really cool DIY scene, and I couldn't find that here in Des Moines until this past year, and it's been really cool to rediscover it, you know, get back into the groove of things.
The Midwest is awesome because it's not just like, it's not just like where everyone's at. You know, everyone's very spread out over the space, kind of little islands of gold. And it's not like people are trying to be something they're not. It's extremely authentic. Like just thinking about our XBK bill that we played the other night, like just unapologetically like bands that were doing what they were doing, just straight up doing their own thing and not trying to like fit into a scene or anything. Like the scene is just that there is no scene. And that's what's great about the Midwest.
Really, what's next for Munk Rivers is that we are recording some goddamn music. And I'm going to throw the GD in there just because of how much we need to do it. After all these shows, they've been so fun. They've been so great from a live standpoint, but like we just have to get more music out there so that people can listen to us on a more regular basis. Then we can kind of start growing that, local fan base and maybe start playing some other places. But that's top of the agenda. It's just record music.
And we got Izzy on the drum. I have a little mantra that I wrote on the bottom of our set list. And it says, "Let love make you brave." And I think that my friends up here make me feel really brave. And I think it's just a good tone for the night.
Wait. Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4.
This has been Munk Rivers.
G-N-I-E. Genie.